And even the teaching of grace taken to the extreme. And remember, anything taken to the extreme becomes error. Even truth. Even truth. Because most of the heresies that exist were based in some truth. And that's why they're so dangerous, because they hide in the light of truth. Grace says, I love you unconditionally. Grace says, you can't even offer me a reason to love you. I just love you. You know the way I love my wife? You know the way I love my wife? I love her. Come on, I love her unconditionally. I love her redemptively when she gets in trouble and spends all the money and she can't get out of debt. I come in and I love her redemptively by bailing her out of her debt. Yes, you, honey. I love her sacrificially because I'm willing to pay the price and sacrifice whatever it takes to make her happy, to make sure that she's protected, that she's cared for. I love her unconditionally because I don't need a reason to love her. I just do. I'm going to understand what I'm talking about here. And guess what? The only reason, the only condition that God has to love you is because you love Jesus Christ. And because you love him, you enter a relationship. Grace offers you all the promises of God. But grace also makes a demand on how you live. Grace doesn't punish you for sinning. Sin punishes you. Because the wages of sin is death. And when a believer sows to the flesh, they will reap from the flesh corruption. So when Jesus said, don't go and sin no more, he was simply saying, look, you're going to be back here next week if you keep this up. Change the way you live so that grace and lifestyle can work together. Let me wrap it up with this. Grace is God's freedom. But freedom needs boundaries. Freedom needs rules. The greatest threat to freedom is freedom. If you want financial freedom, then you must incorporate certain rules in your life, certain boundaries in your life to keep you free. When you've been freed by the grace of God, you need certain disciplines in your life to keep you from being entangled again in a yoke of bondage. Grace is the most wonderful thing that could ever be given to us. And when you understand it, you can only live a life of gratitude and appreciation. If God doesn't do another thing for me, it's all right, because he's done so much for me in Jesus Christ. Listen, church, grow in grace. Walk in the freedom. Walk free of guilt, free of condemnation. Walk in the protection of God under his grace. but live a lifestyle that complements grace, that glorifies God, and does not trap you in bondage ever again.